My name is Karl Marx, one of the greatest philosophers of the 19th century and perhaps in world history, author of Das Kapital and the Communist Manifesto. The effects of my ideas can still be felt today. Socialism is present all over the globe, and not just in traditionally socialist nations. Socratic ideas, on the other hand, have hardly stood the test of time, and while it is fair to point out that Socrates lived centuries before I did, many of his peers at the time criticized him for the very same reasons we do today. The Socratic method holds virtually no place in the real world and proposes no solutions to real issues, but only ways to think on these issues. I must mention how difficult it was finding information on Socrates, given he never thought to formally publish any of his ideas, though still managed to get himself killed over them. And with that in mind, how can we be sure that his ideas that we credit to him are even his in the first place? All that we know about his philosophy comes from word of his students, and some have even claimed that their own ideas were credited to Socrates incorrectly. So what was so radical about his ideas that he thought to keep them private? Well, for one, he criticized the government, much like I did. Me, a man who openly criticized capitalism at a time it was adored by the masses. Now, you and I both know that the world's greatest leader can't be the sort to hide in fear. My ideas were radical for the time, but I was not in any way hesitant to publish them. I did what I knew was right for the people. Now, I would be foolish to stand up here and claim that Socrates and I never saw eye to eye. We share similar views towards religion and human nature. We even shared the same anti-democratic views, even though Socrates might deny it in his speech. However, Socrates believed social class and social hierarchy to be necessary in society. He believed in the systematic organization of humans, that some humans are inherently better than others. Socrates was a smart man and a brilliant mind, so much so in fact that he didn't look at people, but as intellectual objects with which he could argue with and ideally outsmart. He even married a woman for the sole purpose of arguing with her, all while having an affair with another man. The main distinction between Socrates and I is our worldview, and a leader needs to have an optimistic worldview. I look at my fellow humans as equal, each who can benefit from the abilities of one another. Socrates looks at his fellow humans as intellectual inferiors. After all, he did refer to himself as the smartest man in history. He believes knowledge to be the sole purpose of life, not happiness, love, kindness, but knowledge. And while knowledge is incredibly important for a leader, it is still imperative that a leader love his fellow humans and believe in the abilities of each and every one of them, a skill which Socrates is yet to display.